All right, let's talk about something that you never see but that powers literally everything on Wall Street. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the invisible engine that moves trillions of dollars around the globe every single day. So here's what we're going to cover. First up, we'll look at the huge communication mess finance used to be in. Then, we'll talk about the solution for that mess, a universal language, fittingly called FIX. After that, we'll meet the real star of the show, the engine that actually speaks this language. We'll even peek at its blueprints, and then, to wrap it all up, we'll follow a single trade from start to finish.
Okay, so let's just start with a really basic question. Think about it for a second. You've got these giant financial markets, the New York Stock Exchange, London, Tokyo, not to mention thousands of banks and hedge funds scattered all over the planet. How in the world do they all talk to each other? How does a buy order from a trader in one country get to an exchange in another, like, instantly?
Well, let me tell you, it was not always this smooth. Before the 1990s, it was a total mess, a real Tower of Babel, electronically speaking. See, every single bank, every exchange, they all had their own special, proprietary way of communicating. It was complete chaos. It would be like trying to call someone in another country, but you both had completely different phones that couldn't possibly connect. That's exactly what trading was like.
And this chaos? It had some pretty serious consequences. I mean, trades were painfully slow, which in finance creates massive risk. It was also crazy expensive. Firms had to build and manage all these one-off custom connections just to talk to everybody. And maybe the worst part? It was full of errors. A tiny little miscommunication between two systems could, and sometimes did, lead to millions of dollars just gone. The industry was screaming for a single standard that was fast, efficient, and above all, super reliable. So, to clean up this mess, the financial world did something brilliant. They didn't just build a better mousetrap. They invented a whole new universal language just for trading.
And that language is called the FIX protocol, stands for Financial Information Exchange. You can think of it like the official diplomatic language for money. It's a shared dictionary and grammar, a set of rules that everyone agrees on. So instead of one system saying, I want to buy, and another one saying, purchase request, everyone just agrees to send a standard message, like new order single, with very specific tags for what stock, how many, and at what price. It's a pretty simple and really elegant solution to what was a huge, complicated problem.
But here's the thing. A language, no matter how brilliant, is totally useless if no one's there to speak it, right?
And in the crazy fast world of electronic trading, that speaker can't be a person. No way.
It's got to be a piece of software, something that works at the speed of light and never ever messes up.
And in finance, that super fluent, super fast speaker is the FIX engine.
So what does this FIX engine actually do? Honestly, the best way to think about it is like the universal translator from Star Trek, but just for finance. It takes an order from a trader's internal app, whatever format that might be, and translates it into a perfect, standard FIX message. Then it handles the secure connection to the stock exchange, sends the message, waits for the reply, and translates that reply back so the trader's app can understand it. And here's the really crucial part. It keeps track of every single message, making absolutely sure nothing gets lost in transit.
Okay, so how do you even build one of these things? Well, it's a massive engineering challenge. We are not talking about your everyday smartphone app here. The stakes are, well, they're astronomically high. When you're designing a FIX engine, there are three things you are absolutely obsessed with. First is low latency. Latency is just a fancy word for delay. And in trading, even a tiny delay, I'm talking microseconds, can mean losing millions of dollars. Second, high throughput. This thing has to handle a total flood of messages, sometimes millions a second, without even blinking. And finally, reliability. It cannot, under any circumstances, lose a single message. Imagine losing a buy order. It's a total disaster. So it has to have backup plans to recover instantly if anything fails. And a huge part of that reliability comes down to something called the session layer. This is pretty cool. Before any trades can happen, the two FIX engines, say one at a bank and one at the exchange, do a kind of digital handshake. This session is where they establish the connection, they agree on how to number the messages so they can track everything, and they send little heartbeat messages back and forth just to say, hey, you still there? It's basically the foundation of trust for the whole conversation.
Okay, so we've got the language, which is FIX. We've got the speaker, the FIX engine. Now, let's put it all together and actually follow one single trade on its journey, from the first click all the way to trade complete.
All right, here we go. Picture this. A trader wants to buy 100 shares of Apple stock. They hit buy on their trading screen. What happens next? Instantly, their company's FIX engine grabs that order and encodes it into a perfect little FIX message. That message gets shot across the network to the stock exchange. The exchange's own FIX engine catches it, decodes it, and the exchange fills the order.
Then, the exchange's engine fires back a confirmation message. And finally, the trader's engine gets that message, decodes it, and boom, the trader's screen flashes order filled. And the craziest part, this entire round trip happens in just a few thousandths of a second. It's unbelievable.
And that is why we call the fix engine the unsung hero. It really is the invisible high-speed plumbing of the entire financial world. You never see it, you probably never even think about it. But without it, the whole global market would just stop. It's the hidden connective tissue that holds the world's economy together.
So that brings us to the future, and a pretty big question. Trading is getting even faster. We're moving from microseconds down to nanoseconds. And now you've got AI starting to make trading decisions all by itself. So the pressure on these engines is just going to get more and more intense. What's next? What does a financial engine that can keep up with an AI look like? That's the huge challenge that engineers are trying to solve right now. Thanks for watching The Explainer.